to the Do You Have It, Kim Bolufé and Alexandria Bolufé podcast. Thank you so much for joining me every week. And I have the one and only Brian Howie with me from Pod Populi.
Oh, you said it right. Good.
Can you say my name right?
Bolufé.
Oh my goodness. How many times did that take him to say Bolufé?
A lot. Practice makes perfect.
Yes.
I had the accent on the wrong syllable. We're in your lovely new shop here.
Thank you so much. Yes, we were here in Meisner Park where it all began. And let me tell you, it's a pleasure to be back. This is where I started. These are my roots. I started here 30 years ago. I was here for 20-something years. And then we went to Delray Beach because I also knew Delray Beach, I'd be the new kid on the block that would make a difference.
Delray's booming.
It is a kick-butt, booming town.
It is a scene, and you are right in the heart of it. You had your 30th anniversary celebration up there, and it was just so vibrant. It's great.
Yes, and I was so grateful to all these people that just came to pay respects. They followed me for 30 years, women-owned business, and the vice mayor came. I really do appreciate that.
Now, this spot, I'm always fascinated when I first came into your last location, how you lay it out, because it really is good for the eye. But as a man, I notice generally when I go into a store or boutique that the men's stuff has like a dedicated corner in the back. And it's when I walk in here for the first time, I see the jackets, I see the stuff. Is that intentional that you're trying to lure him and her in here and he's going to be more interested if he sees something for him?
Yes, it is intentional. And I'll tell you why it's intentional. First of all, I do believe I dominate the men's industry. I am a celebrity stylist for men and women, of course. But when it comes to men, I can give that successful man super confidence that he didn't even know that he had. And yes, it's intentional. When you walk in, you see an entire runway filled with men's shirts, t-shirts, pants, jackets. True fashion for the contemporary man. Not a man that goes into the office, but a man that is after 5 o'clock.
After 5 o'clock. Well, that has helped a little bit. There are fewer and fewer men, even attorneys, bankers, whatever, that are in the sort of dark suit, white shirt or whatever. But there's still sort of that barrier where a man in a traditional industry like that is probably not going to go in a pop of color. They're probably not going to show too much personality because you're sort of taught not to do that. You don't believe in that. You believe men should show personality. That color and fabric and feeling good can trickle down to all aspects of your life, including your business.
Absolutely. When a man is successful and he's focused on one area in his life, let's say he's an attorney who wears suits all the time. First of all, your clothing also either takes you down a level or brings you up a level when it comes to your demeanor, your personality. So when you're wearing a dark gray suit and you walk into a restaurant or your place of business, you have this gray personality. You're a professional and this is the way you conduct your life. But once you put on an outfit for a contemporary man, a CEO that wants to look contemporary, not ridiculous, remember, I don't do a look like a Miami Vice look, and I definitely
You're not doing an orange tuxedo.
No, and I'm definitely not doing an old man look. This is the man that is in best time in his life, 50, 45, let's say, all the way up to, say, 70. Now, that 70-year-old man, though, thinks he's 50.
Yeah.
All right? And I can help him, not only with his hair, his clothes. When he wears my clothes, guess what happens? Just like you. You walk into the room, your shoulders back.
Well, for so long, we were always taught, especially when we're out with our wife, girlfriend, whatever, that she's the picture, we're the frame. But you'd be surprised at how excited she gets when you're the picture too. And where you look worthy of being with her because she looks great and you look like you're driving her around. But when she walks in somewhere, whether it's dinner or whatever, and she sees that you cared about how you look and you're actually a really positive accessory for her, it does make a difference to both of them.
It absolutely does, because when your woman actually sees that you are an attractive man and you have game, I said game, G-A-M-E, meaning you are on the top of your game, whether you are professional, in your business or personally when you take her out to dinner, she is more attracted to you. She may not tell you in the beginning because you may surprise her and shock her, where all eyes are on you too.
Because it's not just, I have to be with her. It's like choosing to be with her because I look great. Everybody's looking at me and I want to be with her and I want to be seen with her and I want to look good with her. And again, as a man, we take that for granted a lot. I would defend the men a little bit. We don't get nearly as many compliments, physical compliments, as the women do. We tell you 100 times a day you look lovely. Every once in a while you be like, oh, you look good. You look okay. We hear a lot when we don't look good. I walked in here in this shirt. I heard about it. We hear a lot like, oh my God, are you going to wear that? But when she's like, you look great, which does happen in your clothing, makes all the difference in the world. What compliments? Wear the Bolufé.
Yes, it is important because even to your own psyche, in your sleep, in your wake, it does something to you. Shoulders do, sit up. It's very important. So this man, that CEO, successful man, doesn't have to be financially wealthy because the items in my store are not expensive. They are not Kmart, Walmart, but it definitely is not Louis, Gucci,
right?
Not Neiman Marcus.
Now, when you lay out a store and you basically had a fresh look at it, you obviously want to give people as many choices as possible, but you don't want to overcrowd the place. How do you think through that balance?
First of all, men do not like a cluttered rack, shelves, or a table where they don't know what they're looking at.
We're lost in the jungle. Right.
Exactly. So it has to be precisely where they will follow the trail. Wherever, like a maze.
The hunter.
Yeah. Exactly. Like a maze.
Right.
So yes, it is strategic. I'm doing this 30 years. I should know.
Right. Well, it took you a while to learn and the way we are trained, it's a little like, you go into IKEA, they're not letting you out of the trail. You're going all the way around. They're very smart about that. But here, you capture them from the window in a very high traffic area, right in the heart of the busiest part of Boca Raton. And then you see this, and then you keep walking, and what about that? What about that? What about that? And there are so many options here, even though I'm sure you could, with all the stuff you have, you could double it in here, but you have to make it look like this is a, carnival of choices without making too many choices where a man's like, this is too much and we get overwhelmed. So we're very simple.
Yes. So that's why you definitely need a stylist. Men, all the men that are listening, you can't just go to a department store and choose something off the rack and think that you could put it together on your own. You can have a man help you. But more importantly, when you have a woman that really knows how good a man can look,
right.
And this is the woman's side, you want a woman, a stylist.
I want to hear from you that I look at. I don't want to hear from him.
That's right.
Right. Now, how do you pick color for a man? Do you pick it based on his coloring, or do you pick it based on his personality, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Like for you, for instance, when I first met you, witty, sharp, talks fast, intellect. I don't want to embarrass you, okay?
Handsome.
Handsome. I gotta say handsome. Absolutely. And I thought immediately, within seconds, oh wow, he needs to be on my live show because I can show him how to look even more handsome and even more confident.
We didn't even know that was possible.
You were
and apparently
afraid.
I was walking around like a 2. I didn't even know. And you were happy. You're like, oh my God, look what I did for you. And that's why every time I slip back down into my old wardrobe, I feel like I'm personally letting you down, and I don't want to do that. I need to go to the dry cleaner and pick up that Bolufé.
No, you need more Bolufé clothes.
I need more Bolufé.
And you're going to do day to night.
Day Bolufé.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
I started with special occasion Bolufé.
Yes.
And then I worked into like important meeting thing. And now I have to get into, breakfast and brunch Bolufé.
Yes, because when your beautiful woman gets all dressed up, you absolutely have to match her. Let me tell you, you told me once that you had a girlfriend in the past that didn't want you to look as good as her.
Right.
Shame.
She's well, and she gave the reasons because she thought, what is she doing with him? He either has a lot of money or he's really good in bed. And both of those are good for you. And that was her logic on it. She goes, go put on the cargo shorts, go put on the flip-flops. She was dressed all up, and she's like, people are going to notice. That was a little bit of her insecurity and all that, but I get when two people walk in together and you look like a striking couple and you look like I see what they see in each other because we see it in them too, it is a different feeling. You're right. Yeah.
When a man, a woman, a couple no longer buy clothes, I'm going to tell you what that means. They have nowhere to go. They don't want to go anywhere. When you are constantly renewing and updating the wardrobe, it means other places to go, people to see, things to do. While you have that moment in your life, especially in the best part of your life, those years, 45 to 70, come on, let's get going. How much more time do you have? Just do it.
Especially when a lot of people, I say this all the time, go from husband, wife to mom and dad. You need to not only feel like husband, wife again, you need to feel like boyfriend, girlfriend again. And that is a special feeling that dressing up can have. Now, when a man and a woman walk in here, are you like, if I get him interested in the clothes, clearly she's going to be interested in the clothes. But is that the sale you're trying to do? Like, get him interested, and then they're going to stick around a little longer? Or do you go for her and let him?
I go for my intuition. I'm looking at him. He's not sure. Usually when a man comes in here, he starts looking at the jackets, he's not sure. I immediately go right up to him, and I don't ask him questions. I already know. I've sized him up just by looking at him, what size he is, put the jacket on him, and I start from there. And his woman will come over and say, wow, I really like that. Now,
do you ever have to worry that she bought that for him for his birthday?
No. She wouldn't know how to pick that out for him.
It's not her skill.
No, and it's the Bolufé style. The Bolufé man is a unique style. It's not something you could just find anywhere. It's the colors we put together, the pockets wear, the contrast stitching.
And we talked about that before on your show, where it's, you can be a confident man in one aspect of your life, and that helps a man understand what confidence feels like. He can be confident in his business, but being able to spread that out and make him feel confident in 4 or 5 different aspects of his life, it does start with how you feel about how you walk. It does.
It's just like when you're, let's say, a young man in high school. Let's talk about that. Depending on how he looks and how he carries himself, it's going to open doors his whole life. Mm-hmm. But if he looks, like sloppy, he doesn't know how to put his clothes together, and he just looks messy, he's never going to get the attention from the girls, and the ego starts there. The confidence, not the ego, the confidence.
Yeah, I mean, there's steps in a life. Like the first time you're in your 20s and a girl comes over and she's like, a milk crate is not furniture. You need to buy something to put that on and whatever. And we've always been open to that. And a lot of women are afraid that the man isn't going to want her to, quote unquote, change him or whatever. We're happy to do whatever as long as it's said in a positively reinforcing fashion. Not this looks bad, but that looks great. You look great in that. We're always receptive to that. And that's part of the skill you have. Now we're friends and you can make fun of what I wear. But when I first came in here, you weren't like that. You're like, you're going to love this. And that was what you said. You're going to love this. And I'm like, are you serving me chicken fingers? What do you mean? And you're like, no, the clothes. And I was like, oh, it wasn't something I that. And then I did love it. And I loved the experience. And then when I found something I liked, and you're like, you know what else you're going to like? And all of it was just building upon it. And that is tapping into both your skill, the concept of confidence, and my fragile male psyche. It was all good.
You asked me earlier, how do I decide what color? Do I go by your complexion, your hair, or your personality? I'll tell you. It all depends. For you, I went by your personality. And of course, I also take into consideration your hair color, your complexion. And I'm going to know that I should put color on you. Not to just do black and white. It has to be exciting.
The hair's black and white.
It doesn't matter.
Right. You don't want to. Right. You need to distract from the black and white hair. He's slowly getting whiter hair. Yeah, you do. And it just, color shows personality. Even if it's socks or pocket square or something, or the linings and the jackets, like that really goes a long way. And like, oh, he's not boring. It's just the little touches really go a long way.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you do stand out. You stand out in the clothes, and then once you start speaking, it's just another level. And together, it's a package.
Yeah, I talked about this on the last show. I went down and gave a speech at a conference in Miami. I was head to toe Bolufé. I stood out over all the other men there. They didn't have you. They didn't have access. They had their logo on their shirt, or they had, you just winced when you saw that, when they said they had their company logo, and they're like, you're better off presenting who you are. It was better than a business card for me. It's better than anything. That it looks like, oh, he's interesting. He has something to say. He has a look. It really went a long, long way. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't wait to tell you that.
Well,
all these years I didn't know that, Who knew?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so how much time do we have left? Do we have time?
We have time.
Okay.
We have time, and I'm going to lead into your pearl and whatever.
Oh, I haven't even thought about my pearl, but everything's off the cuff.
It is. Now, the accessories, are the accessories supposed to be the last thing that somebody buys? Or is it like if you start with an accessory, you can work backwards and put a whole outfit together? How does that work? Because I look at all this here behind us, and it's all fabulous, but you want to match it with the clothing that is the right, presentation, right?
Well, sometimes the accessory is more important than the clothing, the garment itself. Usually I would like to start with the clothing. First, I would like to see the colors. If the client that makes an appointment with me likes a certain color, let's say she likes purple. Okay, now I'm going to take a purple top and I'm going to build on it. I'm going to build pieces on top of that, and finally I'm going to put the accessory on there. The accessory, the belt and the necklace and the purse and the bracelet will level up her outfit. I'm talking more than 100 times. It really does make a difference. Without all the accessories, it would never look the same. Just like my outfit. Look,
yeah, I noticed your necklace. I noticed the belt.
Yes, and the shoes. And without all this, it could never look the same.
Right.
Yes.
And sometimes people are afraid to accessorize like that because it's out of their comfort zone, and it draws it's a little bit of blame, and not everybody's used to wear it. But it can show fun. It shows charisma. It shows personality. It does show style. Like the clothes are fine, but they're sort of a starting piece, right? You do your hair, do your makeup.
Absolutely.
They're all accessories.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where once a client learns a few times, she can absolutely do it by herself. I have many clients that I've helped over the years. After 3 or 4 times, they walk into my boutiques and they just do it on their own because they already know. I teach them all the skills, and every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. live on Facebook, I show the skills. Mm-hmm. So they absolutely can learn and do it on their own. Men too.
But, we always talk about the confidence. The confidence comes out of it, but you have to find that confidence to take a chance. You have to find that confidence to do something differently than you've done for 30 or 40, 50 years. A lot of times our wardrobe is based on, we didn't really give it much thought. It's easy, it's comfortable. I know it sort of fits, and it usually doesn't. We go on. Trying something completely out of that, you basically have to check 5 other boxes mentally to willing to go there. That's what you have to help people too, right? And you're a little bit like a clothing therapist for these people too.
Yes, and I'm not really, you wouldn't say 100%, because if you define what I do and what my purpose is, it's not that I'm just a fashionista. That is just too simple. No. I'm in the business of helping people feel better, giving them confidence. I truly enjoy it because I'm giving them happiness. And in return, it gives me happiness. So I do have a purpose. I'm not just a fashionista. I am absolutely a person that wants to, let's say, this is what I'm going to say. Did I say this on my other shows? A person that likes to pay it forward and help other people pay it forward.
Yeah, that's good. I tell people all the time, I host a podcast about love, dating, relationships, and I always tell people that it's almost never that you haven't met the right person. It's almost always that you haven't been the right person. And what that means is that you didn't take the steps to make a change, to get out of your comfort zone. That is one thing you can change. You might not be able to change your height, or you might not be able to change your hair, whatever. You can change your wardrobe, and you can change the way you present yourself to the world. And that is something that, you try and teach everybody who comes in here, right? I can help you.
Yes. And when people look at you and you look nice, they also treat you nicer. And in return, you become nicer. And that's sort of a pay it forward type of mentality. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then everything just is enhanced from there.
All right. Time for your pearl.
What's my pearl today? Okay. Remember, there is a window in your life. It's forever changing. It's forever growing on your journey. But the window in your life, do not lose that opportunity. You can be the best at a later time in your life, any time in your life. But let's talk about my specific clientele, 45 to 70. Take those best years of your life where you already worked most of your life, become successful. Now it's all about you. Be the best version of yourself. And that starts with the way you look. So come and visit me at Bolufé Boutique. I'm online. I'm here in Meisner Park. I'm also on Atlantic Avenue in Delray Beach. You can watch me on my live show, 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday night on Facebook. And you know where you can listen to this podcast, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. You want to say anything else?
No, and don't forget to leave a review. Reviews mean a lot in the podcasting ecosystem. But trust me, I'm not just your friend. I'm also a client, and I'm a case study in what this can do, especially for the dudes. This is fun.
And thank you, everyone, for showing me the love. Mwah!